Bonjour à tous et à tous, and thank you so much, Stephen, and a wonderful panelist, a wonderful panel. This was really a fascinating conversation, so thank you so much. I also want to start by thanking CIAC for organizing this wonderful event. Many thanks to Jeff Nankivil from the Asia-Pacific Foundation of Canada, Gabriel Miller from Universities Canada, and of course, thanks to both Honourable Minister Grace Fu and Minister Mary Ng. Welcome to all esteemed colleagues and partners here today. Je suis heureux d'être ici aujourd'hui. I'm going to pivot just a little bit from this morning's really fascinating conversation to highlight another important aspect of Canada's Indo-Pacific strategy under the pillar of building a sustainable and green future in the region. It's a pleasure to be here today to share, as Minister Ng noted, some really exciting news in the next chapter of our journey at FinDev Canada. And for those of you who may be less familiar, FinDev Canada is Canada's bilateral development finance institution. Established in 2018, we support financing and investment, blended finance solution, technical assistance and advisory to support sustainable and inclusive growth in emerging markets and developing economies. We work across three sectors. First, with the financial industry, supporting local and regional banks, non-bank financials, and private equity, with the intent of strengthening institutions and improving access to finance in the markets that we serve. We also work in agribusiness and forestry and their associated value chains to support food security and climate action. And we also work in sustainable infrastructure, supporting the development of low-carbon, climate-resilient infrastructure in the power, transportation, water, and digital subsectors. As a development finance institution, we are focused on impact, and we have three impact lenses through which we look when we make our financing and investment decisions: climate and nature action, gender equality, and local market development. Now, when FinDev Canada first opens its doors in 2018, we were focused on Sub-Saharan Africa and Latin America and the Caribbean. Then the Government of Canada, as part of its broader Indo-Pacific strategy, expanded FinDev Canada's mandate to include this region, something we are really excited about. So we jumped into action just over a year ago in January 2024. This opportunity to engage in emerging markets and developing economies within the Indo-Pacific region is really timely. As we all know, the world is currently undergoing multiple, interconnected, expected, and unexpected transformations, economic, political, and social. And emerging markets and developing economies are coming under strains that threaten to stall and even backtrack development gains. Simply put, the need for sustainable investment and the opportunity to have impact is more urgent than ever. This could be bolstering access to sustainable finance via the financial industry, or supporting seeds to supermarkets across ag value chains. Or let's even think about infrastructure, where much of what needs to be built in the region has not yet been built. And to illustrate this point, I wanted to share a recent story that we lived in Thailand, a country with an important infrastructure transformation underway. Like many countries in the region, Thailand made the decision a few years ago to shift the makeup of its energy mix towards renewables. Their goal is to generate more than 25% of their electricity from renewable energy sources by 2037, which would help put the country on the pathway towards achieving carbon neutrality in 2050 and net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2065. And this is where FinDev Canada comes in. Last year, FinDev Canada made a $59 million loan to Gulf Renewable Energy. Our loan is helping to finance the construction and operation of 12 solar PV projects, some with battery energy storage, across Thailand. Once in operation, these projects will generate over 1,400 gigawatt hours of renewable energy per year and avoid over 600,000 tons of carbon dioxide emissions annually. That's the equivalent of taking 130,000 cars off the road. Combining solar energy generation with battery storage will enhance the reliability of Thailand's power grid. This integration offers energy during peak demand while supporting energy security, supports thousands of local jobs, many of which are for women, as well as market growth. Opportunities like this one with Gulf are why we are here. By working with the private sector and bringing our expertise and risk appetite for investing in emerging markets to the table, we can help get market-based solutions that have impact over the line. And that focus on opportunity is what brings me here today. We seek to be a trusted partner in the region. This is why FinDev Canada is taking an important step forward in our journey. We are pleased to announce that we are opening our first office outside of Canada, right here in the dynamic global financial hub of Singapore. As we all know, Singapore represents a strategic gateway to the Indo-Pacific and a platform to continuing to finance development through the private sector. Why open in the Indo-Pacific? In a word, again, opportunity. The Indo-Pacific is dynamic. The population is young and growing and urbanizing. The region is a cornerstone for global development, an engine of economic growth and innovation, and we are so excited to be part of it. At the same time, emerging markets and developing economies within the region face significant development challenges and therefore offer an abundance of investment opportunity. Take as an example, as I mentioned earlier, the infrastructure sector, where there is a $1.7 trillion annual investment demand for sustainable infrastructure in all forms, be it energy, water and sanitation, roads to internet. With our new office in Singapore and building and deepening business relationships across the region, we'll be better positioned to identify and enable these opportunities. So if opportunity is the why, partnerships are the answer to the how. As a local proverb in Singapore says, one hand can't clap. It takes two working together to make a sound. And this is how we approach our work at FinDev Canada. We believe in building relationships, collaborating with businesses, with banks, with investors, with governments. Our partnership with development finance institutions like the Asian Development Bank reflect our conviction that we can do much more by working together. As I often tell my team, our business only moves at the speed of trust. By opening here in Singapore, we want to earn and build your trust in the region. So to conclude, of all the places in the world to open our first office outside of Canada, we intentionally chose the Indo-Pacific and we chose Singapore, and we really couldn't be more excited. We're open for business and we invite you to join us on this journey. Thank you so much et merci beaucoup.